Finn faces a life or death decision, and Katie stuns Bill. Hello everyone. Welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. At the hospital, Lai and Finn's eyes lock as Shayla flatlines and the nurse complains, "Dr. Finnegan, she's coding." Finn takes the paddles and Lai whispers, "Let her die." At the Forrester mansion, the group gathered can't get over Ridge and Bill working together. Ridge explains that, yes, they hate each other, but they had a common goal, to get rid of Sheila. And we did it, because of Bill. No one looks convinced. Carter complains that Bill and Sheila are in a relationship. "She's living with you." Stephen harps that he allowed her to endanger all of their families, and Lucy chimes in, "Sheila should be in jail." Taylor, the Logans, and Eric all put in their 2 cents. Rich protests that it was an act. None of this was what it seemed. "We were working with the FBI and with Baker." Brooke gops, "What?" Bill says there was no other way. Rich continues on to say that Bill had to convince Sheila that it was real. So he had to convince all of them that it was real. Rich doesn't want to say it, but he has to. This man is a hero. Eyebrows raise all over the room as Ridge slings his arm around Bill's shoulder and grins. In the hospital, the nurse leaves the room to get another set of paddles, and Lai angrily reminds Finn of everything Sheila did. The nurse returns and Lai mouths, "Let her go." Finn tells the nurse to charge and barks, "Clear," as he works to restart Sheila's heart. At the Forrester mansion, Bill says he didn't feel like a hero. Taylor asks how long this has been going on. Ridge says, "Too long." He explains that the only way to get Sheila out of their lives was to have her admit to murder one. Taylor argues this doesn't make sense. Sheila was already in custody. Steffi and Finn's testimony would have put her away for good, and you interfered with that. Bill tells Taylor she's right, but Sheila would only have gotten 10 years. Maybe more, maybe less. This was about protecting the children. It was hell making you all doubt me and hate me. But it had to be done. A tear rolls down Katie's face as he intones that the kids were all too important to him. He had to protect their futures. "We had to protect their futures," he says, looking at Ridge, "and that's what we did." At the hospital, when the nurse leaves the room, Lai appeals to Finn to think of his wife and daughter. The nurse returns and Finn brings Sheila back to life. Lai asks, "Finn, why?" Sheila flatlines again and Finn stares at her, calling, "Clear." He shocks her back to a normal heart rhythm again and sends the nurse for the cardiac team. Steffi stares and Lai glares at him. Sheila awakens and sees that her son saved her and thinks he loves her. At the Forrester mansion, Bill apologizes to Taylor for putting her through so much. Ridge says it killed him being in that basement with the FBI, but it was nothing compared to the sacrifice Bill made. The mood lightens as Ridge jokes about the way Bill dresses, but adds he defends his family and the people he loves more fiercely than anyone he knows. Bill remarks on the longest months of his life and Ridge reveals that it worked. Sheila confessed. Those gathered exclaim and hug as Ridge continues on to explain she was finally taken into custody at Il Giardino's. Stephen shakes Bill's hand and then apologizes to Ridge for doubting him. Donna and Eric thank Bill and Ridge steps aside with Taylor, who marvels that he has been working with Bill this whole time. Ridge says soul-searching would have been easier. He asks, "You okay?" and tells her that all of it is over. Bill cut a deal to exonerate her of his shooting. Taylor tears up and smiles over at Bill. Ridge hugs her. Brooke joins Bill to tease him about being sneaky, deceitful, and wonderful. "Thank you so much." She hugs him and he looks over her shoulder at Katie. At the hospital, outside Sheila's room, Lai asks, "Why Finn? Sheila is pure evil." Finn will never forgive Sheila for what she did and tells Steffi he loves her, but he couldn't do it. "I had to save her." Steffi cries, I know, I love you." As they embrace, Lai makes her way back into Sheila's room, where the police officer cuffs her and tells her the situation is secure. Lai wills Sheila to open her eyes. She does, and sees Lies scowling at her. Lee promises she'll rot in prison, and then in hell. Sheila lunges menacingly, but is caught up by the handcuffs. At Eric's place, he makes a speech with Bill and Ridge by his side about the gratitude owed to them and calls them heroes. Everyone applauds the heroes and hugs and handshakes abound. Taylor and Brooks sidle up to Ridge, who asks, "Why do I feel like I'm going to be in trouble?" He wonders if they're turned on. They teasingly call him Agent Forrester and make cracks about friendship. Eric calls everyone for a toast, and they all file out except Katie and Bill. Katie tells Bill that he lied to her every minute and led her believe he was in love with Sheila Carter and was going to expose their son to her. She thought he was lost and asks, "Do you have any idea what that did to me?" Bill tells her he's sorry and that he loves her. He didn't want to hurt her, but he couldn't tell anyone or the plan wasn't going to work. Bill chokes up and reaches for her hands before grimacing. It was all an act and it's over now. With that, he rips off the sword necklace and tosses it. Katie slaps him and then pulls him into a passionate kiss. She gasps, "You are so maddening and frustrating, but there's no one like you. The extraordinary lengths you go to. This is why I left you, Biddle, but it's also why I love you." They both cry and hold each other as he strokes her hair.